Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, the one and only Hosting Cruz, bringing you another exciting edition of boxing. Don't forget to hit and to like, subscribe to my channel. It's always greatly appreciated. Stay tuned. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Hosting Cruz, and guys, Eddie Hearn over at MatchRoom has signed one of the best signings in his career as a promoter. Maybe the best signing ever. Eddie Hearn, one of the greatest promoters in the history of boxing, and right now the best promoter in the history of boxing. I've said it many times. When Eddie speaks, you listen. He knows how to sell a fight. He knows how to promote it, and he's just that man. He's just greatness, man. I love to hear Eddie speak. Like I said, when he talks, you listen. So when it comes to the signing that I'm about to mention, man, I think it's one of the best signings he's had, maybe the best. And that is in Jaron Boots Ennis, man. The IBF welterweight champion of the world, 31-0, 28 knockouts. A sensational welterweight. You put Crawford aside, likely he's going up to 154. Ennis is the best welterweight in the world right now. Yes, we can say that he hasn't proven it by beating a top welterweight like a Keith Thurman or Conor Benn, a big name. He has not went in there with Ugas, Mario Barrios. He has not even, or even defeated Spence or stuff like that. But I feel and I bet if you give him the opportunity and the chance to step in there, one of those guys, he can do damage. He can show his stuff. Ennis has his skills, man, and the tools to be something and do something great in boxing and in the welterweight division. He was handed the IBF title because they took it from Crawford. They stripped him of the title, and I felt that Ennis could have fought for the belt. They handed it to him. If you're an Ennis fan, that's great. But if you're also an Ennis fan, I'm sure you would have liked to see Ennis fought for it, vacant, against a top welterweight. But they handed it to him. It is what it is. But be that as it may, Ennis, man, whatever you want to see, man. He can box. He can punch with both hands. Very good hand speed. Excellent timing. Good counter puncher. He can switch stances. He can fight you on the inside very comfortably. Excellent, pretty good defense. When he's in the pocket, chucking leather with you, he's keeping his right hand up so he can block shots that are coming whatever return fire is coming, he's right here. He has his hand. That's one excellent habit that Ennis has. And I like to see it. He always keeps his hands up, this hand up right here, the right hand, in case of any shots. So he's always ready. But Ennis is dangerous. He's a high risk, low reward fighter. We all say that Crawford's ducking. A lot of people are saying Crawford is ducking Ennis, and I want to believe it's more about money for Crawford. Crawford is a fighter. He fights anybody, right? But if Crawford was to step in the ring with Ennis, it is a high risk, low reward fight, because high risk, it is what it is. Ennis is dangerous right now for Crawford, or for anybody, even for Crawford. It's a dangerous fight. There's a chance that Crawford can go in there and get sparked by Ennis. Styles make fights in boxing. Ennis is a big welterweight. He's 5 feet 10 inches tall. He's got a good reach. He's very good on his foot. He can do things that Crawford can do. He can switch stances. He can fight on the inside, fight on the outside. I think he's faster on the trigger than Crawford. I think he hits harder than Crawford, or just as hard. And we've seen it in his fights, man. He's very fast on the trigger. He hits you with shots that you don't see. And he can catch Crawford with an uppercut. He's very good with those uppercuts from a distance. Especially on the counter when he's countering you and turning you. turning you in the ring, giving you those angles. He busts you up with uppercuts, and that looping overhand shot, overhand right on the temple that he likes to throw out of nowhere over your guard, like how we did Clayton. He didn't see it coming, and it went over his guard on top, right on top of his head, and he went down, couldn't recover. Roman Villa, tough Venezuelan fighter. Came to fight, hard puncher, power in both hands, rugged, tough, solid chin. Was coming off 2 back-to-back wins, sensational wins against highly touted prospects. So he was a dangerous opponent for Ennis, but Ennis showed his mettle, man. Ennis showed that he's here for real, he's here to stay, and he's a threat at the welterweight division. It took him 10 rounds to stop Villa, but because Villa was no slouch. He was not a top welterweight, but he was a very dangerous fighter. And when Ennis got him out of there, he got him out of there. It was a hell of a fight. Coming in, a lot of people were giving Roman Villa a chance to win the fight. He was a dangerous opponent. But Ennis showed his stuff. He showed his chin. Ennis had a pretty good chin. He showed his defense, his offense, fight on the outside, fight on the inside. So, and Ennis is my favorite welterweight. I'm very impressed anytime Ennis steps into the ring, especially from his last fight against Villa. The way he just took him apart little by little. It was a tough fight, but in the end, man, the end result showed, man. Put him down for the first time in his career. And it was the first guy to stop and drop Roman Villa. Who will give anybody hell at 147. Villa is no slouch. But Ennis, if you give him a chance against Thurman, if you give him a chance against Conor Ben, if you give him a chance against Mario Barrios, Ugas, Errol Spence, Crawford, even at 154, because like I said, and we all know that Ennis is a big welterweight. He can go up to 154, no problem. He will give them a run for their money and have a chance to beat some of those guys. I'm not going to sit here and say he beats all of them, but he's had the chance to beat some of those guys. Like I said, in my opinion, he's the best welterweight. And Ennis, Jaron Boots Ennis, man, 31-0, 28 KOs. He's a problem, and he's hungry. He's got that Philly tough in him, and he's ready anytime to show his stuff. So by Eddie Hearn signing him, I'm sure Eddie Hearn will give him the career and the opportunities that he's been looking for, because the inactivity sucks. Ennis is supposed to be fighting 2 to 3 times a year. He hasn't fought since last year, July, against Roman Villa. So he needs to fight. He needs to get active. He's pretty young. He's 26, young, strong lion. Another thing that Ennis has over Crawford, and that's the youth. But it's still a great fight. Crawford takes a lot of rest after fights. He fights like once every 2 years or something like that nowadays. But so yeah, Crawford versus Ennis. That's the best fight right now, welterweight. If Crawford decides to stay at welterweight, I think that's the best fight to make. Ennis have already told Crawford, "Come get your belt, man. I have your belt. Come get it now from me. Come take it." Of course, that's a way to lure Crawford in to fight him, but we'll see what's next, man. But it's good to see that Eddie Hearn has signed Ennis, and I know Eddie Hearn. He's one promoter. Like I say, he's the best. If there's a fight that interests him, like an opponent-wise for Ennis, he will put money in to make it happen. He will hit up Golden Boy, Top Rank, whoever, and try to co-promote with them to make a fight. He spoke about it against Matias versus Cruz, Pitbull Cruz. He said that it's a great fight for the people, for boxing. I'm willing to go over to PBC and talk to Al Heyman you know, pitching money to get this fight happen, to make this fight happen, co-promote it, conjoin promotions. So Eddie Hearn is all about that. He's all about the fans. He's all about boxing. He's willing to make the fights happen, doing whatever it takes. So by Ennis being signed by Eddie, Ennis has a chance to get the fights he wants because Eddie's gonna make it happen. Whether if he's putting money in, whatever, he's willing to do it. So we'll see, man. But in my opinion, the best welterweight right now, 31-0, 28 KOs. Jaron Boots Ennis, ladies and gentlemen. Speed, power, skills, chin. Likes the dogfight. Whatever you want, Ennis has it. And I'm just waiting for him to prove it against a top welterweight. And when that day comes, man, I know he's gonna shine. Ennis is really good, and I know he'll put up a hell of a fight. He's gonna give win, lose, or draw, guys. He'll give all those top welterweights hell. There you have it. Miracle Whip Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Wilson Cruz. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. It is always a pleasure to talk to you guys about boxing right here. The best sport, possibly the best sport in the world. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.